You're watching USA News Hub, your home for breaking headlines, trending sports stories, and exclusive updates from across the nation. When Coco Gauff opened her mouth, the entire tennis world froze. Not because she won a title, not because she called out a critic, but because she made a statement so bold, so unshakable, that it reignited a debate older than her entire career. And in that moment, Coco didn't just defend her idol. She rewrote the conversation. When a 21-year-old speaks with the confidence of a legend, people listen. And in the world of women's tennis, where greatness is measured in eras, rivalries, and records, one young champion has stepped into the spotlight with a message that echoes far beyond the baseline. Coco Gauff is done tiptoeing around the question. She's done playing it safe. Done dodging the debate. Done pretending that all eras are equal in greatness. Because when she was asked the question every tennis star gets sooner or later, who is the greatest women's tennis player of all time? Coco didn't hesitate. She didn't blink. She didn't soften her tone. Instead, she stood firm, with the conviction of someone who grew up watching fire, dominance, and history rewritten in real time. And her answer was simple. For me, Serena Williams is the greatest ever. Period. Not Steffi Graf. Not Chris Evert. Not Martina Navratilova. Not, it depends on the era. Serena Williams. The GOAT. Now, this wasn't just a compliment. This wasn't fangirl energy. This wasn't a casual interview soundbite. This was Coco Gauff planting a flag in the middle of the tennis world and saying, "This is the hill I'm willing to die on." Reporters leaned forward. Fans online exploded. Analysts pulled up stats like they were preparing for war. Because whenever someone publicly declares Serena as the definitive greatest ever, the tennis universe splits into four storms: the Graf loyalists, the Evert traditionalists, the Navratilova dynasty defenders, and the Serena era believers. Millions of fans, each with numbers, trophies, and emotional arguments. But Coco Gauff didn't flinch in the storm. If anything, she invited it. Because she didn't just say Serena is the best. She explained why. And this is what made her message go viral across the USA. Coco didn't rely on stats. She didn't recite titles. She didn't list weeks at number one. Instead, she spoke from something deeper. Experience, emotion, memory. She said that people who grew up watching Serena, people who saw her domination firsthand, people who watched her redefine power, identity, and expectation in real time, know there was nothing, and no one, like her. Coco described Serena as the standard for greatness, the blueprint for how we compete today. The reason I picked up a racket. The most dominant presence women's tennis has ever seen. And she said it in a tone that was not up for negotiation. This wasn't maybe. This wasn't one of. This was final. Serena Williams is the best ever. Full stop. Because Coco Gauff is no longer a kid giving opinions from the stands. She's a Grand Slam champion. A world-class athlete. A voice the entire American tennis audience respects. She has battled the pressure, seen the grind, felt the expectations. And when someone inside the arena says Serena is the greatest, it carries a different kind of weight. It becomes more than opinion. It becomes testimony. The moment Coco's statement went viral, the GOAT debate restarted with nuclear force. The Graf supporters came with the numbers. 22 slams. Golden Slam. 302 weeks at number one. The Navratilova defenders fired back. 167 titles. The 80s domination. Longevity beyond generations. The Evert purists pointed to consistency. 18 slams. 90% match-win seasons. A decade of finals. But then, the Serena believers responded with something else entirely. Impact, power, cultural shift, barrier breaking, athletic evolution, dominance in the strongest era ever. And this This is exactly what Coco was talking about. Collision. Coco's generation sees Serena differently. For players born in the 2000s, Serena isn't just a champion. She's the mold every player was shaped from. Her game, her power, her intensity, her mental armor, her defiance, her ability to win when the world said she shouldn't, her return from childbirth that stunned the world, her reign over an era filled with the deepest field in women's tennis history. She wasn't just playing the game. She was rewriting it. For Coco Gauff's generation, Serena isn't the GOAT because of numbers alone. She's the GOAT because everything in women's tennis today, strategy, training, movement, power, traces back to Serena. And Coco is living proof of that evolution. We aren't here without Serena. She opened every door I walked through. She changed the sport physically, mentally, financially. What she did can't be measured only in titles. She is the greatest ever, for what she achieved and what she made possible. And Americans across social media agreed. Because for the USA audience, Serena represents more than tennis. She represents Sparkles, an American icon. Sparkles, a woman who rose from Compton courts to global legend. Sparkles, a champion who powered through criticism, pressure, and doubt. Sparkles, a symbol of strength, identity, and excellence. Sparkles, someone who inspired millions, including Coco herself, and that's something stats alone can never capture. This wasn't just admiration. This wasn't nostalgia. This wasn't polite praise. This was a passing of the torch, spoken by the very player many believe will someday challenge Serena's legacy. Coco has the mindset, the athleticism, the drive, the fire. But even with all that, she still looks up and says, Serena sits on a mountain nobody else has reached. And that humility, that honesty, that clarity, is exactly why fans love Coco. She doesn't need to tear legends down to build herself up. She respects the path before she walks her own. To end her statement, Coco said something powerful, almost cinematic. You can compare numbers. You can compare styles. But you can't compare impact. Serena changed the entire sport. And for me, that's the greatest of all time. And in that moment, the debate didn't end, but it shifted. Because when the rising face of American tennis declares Serena Williams the GOAT with that level of certainty, the world doesn't just hear it. The world feels it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a story that's shaping America and the world. We'll see you in the next update.